So, Mr. COVID, it is difficult to describe my relationship to you because it comprises so many facets. First, there's the sorrow and the empathy for the dead and dying, and then the loss of jobs and security, stretching the class divide to its breaking point. And then there's me. Some days I feel great. I work out, I build masks, I read, write, watch all the movies I've been putting off for years. Sometimes I can't get up to do anything productive at all, and I whittle my time away. Is passivity bad? Or is there value in taking a breather? Of course there is, but understanding that doesn't always quell the guilt.
Each morning, I drink a dark brew comprising worry and urgent new tasks, causing me many anxious hours. Meditating a while, I discover and stir in a teaspoon of calmness. That catalyst creates an ounce of optimism, and soon I taste sweet moments, even hours of joy. Despite the dread and damage of the coronavirus, several loved ones, close friends, and trusted advisors support me in my optimism. And on the dark COVID cloud, a few silver linings appear. The closing of all but essential businesses, plus self-isolation and quarantine, have brought radical changes, but the racing pace of our lives has thankfully slowed for a while. Most Americans understand we are all in this endangered boat together. Many city and state governments have taken bold steps to fill the shocking void of effective actions by our federal government. And lastly, observing that a majority of we the people have arisen and are adapting and making things better.
Dear great-granddaughter Marcy, I don't know where you are or who you are. I just know that if you are and left up to me, you'd be Marcy. I just want to tell you a little bit about the time I am in now. It is called COVID-19 days. You might say it's one of the least fun times I've lived in. Yep, and now the murder hornets are here. I certainly hope you have no idea what I'm talking about there. I tell you, I feel like I'm getting older each day. Before this happened, I felt like I was getting younger. Little Marcy, I picture you with a cute blue-eyed face and a page boy black hairstyle, if you even know what that is. You ever study the 1960s? Well, I know you're a darling one. There was a virus going around. Papa caught it and he died last spring. Marcy, that is a lyric from a song long ago, but it is still often played on the radio. Boy, does it ever apply to our time today. Your pop here is one of the more vulnerable persons because of his ripe, not too old age, but getting up there. It is 3 a.m. on a Wednesday as I write, and the happiest-go-lucky song sung by a man with the name of Francis Albert Sinatra is playing. Music usually reserved for preparing to walk the dog on a bright Sunday morning. The people in Radio Land are feeding us much ear candy in hopes of maintaining a sense of well-being in our bubbles. It is odd. Well, sweet Marcy, I wish you a wonderful life.
It is a very one-sided relationship with Mr. COVID. It's a relationship that throws a great deal into sharp relief. Mr. COVID will make no bargain, nor hear no plea.
COVID, you robbed me and my husband of hugs with our grandchildren, our 50th anniversary in Hawaii, my quiet walks in the park. You robbed my husband Arthur of his physical therapy. You robbed our friends Gloria and Mark of their son's wedding. You robbed our friend Leah of her time she had to enjoy life after cancer. You robbed our grandson Mason's happiness of going to his favorite amusement park, where now he risks catching you and further damaging his heart and lungs. But you did not rob me of my courage, my memories, my love of my family, my important work, my creativity, my will to live. my faith in God, and my belief that you will soon be gone.
I always felt like I was born into a bad time, expected to work multiple jobs for a pittance, living paycheck to paycheck. And we are still the generation that is accused of being the laziest? Meanwhile, owning a home of any sort is out of reach. Going to and affording a good college is out of reach. For me and all my young friends, a living wage is a foreign concept. And this is the way of things before COVID came to town. Now, the red tape is even thicker.
Conversation with a virus. There was a time when little, if any, time remains. The breath in my lungs contracts. I exhale in shortness and expel a deadly virus in the air. All who are within distance will contact me. I do not discriminate. I do not care. Like you, my existence depends on your complicity to deceive. Your neighbor does not know why I'm here. He cares not that you are dying. He only cares for himself. He hoards lies and innuendo, speaks falsehoods as diversion. He is divisive and arrogant and warrants self-pity, yet he will not show pity to a stranger. When all that has come before believes they will not survive, the death toll climbs, but the reality desecrates my soul. So what am I to make of all this? Make of it anything you like. Humanity is your salvation.
Dear Mr. COVID, I have doused this letter with hydroxychloroquine and hope you don't wash whatever you use as hands after reading it. There is possibly one benefit that will endure from this awful horror you have unleashed upon the world. When people take walks, those approaching from the opposite direction jump out of the way to maintain a 6-foot distance. They usually take several steps to the side and lurch into the street or median. Someday this move, the sidewalk shuffle, will be a favorite dance at weddings, bar mitzvahs, and proms. Hopefully you will not receive any royalty. All the worst, a survivor.
Where are the leaders in federal government? We've been abandoned. And my generation has always been a disposable workforce. The economy is more important than we are. We're being sent to work before it is safe, and many will die. They push us to do this because they know if we do not work, then we will not survive. But that's the government, not COVID. COVID didn't set us up that way. COVID has no will. COVID is a passerby. COVID is terrible only for the human race, for it exacerbates struggles that are of human make. COVID is a piece of this world just as much as we are. The air is clean. Ecosystems are briefly allowed to stabilize. Skies remain blue.
A dolphin ventures into the still of a canal. Are we paying attention? The birds reclaim the soundscape of daily life. Are we truly listening? The air begins to cleanse itself and the grass grows with no one to tread it into submission. Nature whispers to us in the shivering leaves. She calls to us in the bird song. She howls out in the rumblings of the night storm. Stop, she says. Be still. Listen. Remember. Come home to me.
Now, after all this, why do I still feel okay? Because I know the planet will be fine, even if many of us are not. Because the crisis is bringing out the best in some of us. I'm still making new friends through all of this and strengthening old relationships. And yet I still can't touch my girlfriend, and that weighs heavily on me. All of these terrible things are true. All of these very positive things are true. I don't hate COVID. COVID is just death in a new costume. Death is a neutral force. I just hate what we do to each other, us humans. I also love what we do for each other. I have no conclusions. Today is just another of those okay days.
May 2023, my dear Deborah, I know you feel sad right now with so many lives destroyed by Mr. COVID, but vaccines and treatments will be here soon. You will have to wait a long time, but when this is finally over, you will fly to New York and see your Manhattan family and hug them all long and tight. You will embrace your husband, bounce down the street, dine at restaurants, visit museums and bookstores and theaters and concerts, all mask-free, and smile at others as you used to do, appreciating all those tiny things once forbidden and now restored. You will need patience and care to get to 2023. Take advantage of what you have now and treasure the time to be creative. Practice Clair de Lune and Rhapsody in Blue after years of neglecting your white painted piano. Continue your exercises and build up your muscles. Continue cheering Governor Cuomo as he resists opening New York before it is ready. Celebrate Zooming with dear family and friends. Take classes that are still intriguing, even though they make you feel half connected, but isn't half better than nothing? And of course, enjoy California sunshine and those sweet smelling roses and that full blooming lemon tree in the front yard. Grow those scallions on your windowsill and use your parsley and thyme and rosemary from your backyard. But for now, remember to always wear your mask and stay 6 feet away, 30 feet if you're behind a jogger whose speed propels the virus. Don't be afraid to be paranoid. Now is the time to go for it. Let paranoia fly. And when all of this is finally over, celebrate every moment, but still prepare for the next virus. Welcome to the future and all its splendor. But most important, as long as we stay COVID-free, welcome to now.